Hello. It's 2 in the morning, and it's sad hours, I guess. So we're gonna be playing one of the saddest games I've ever seen, that I've ever owned. I've never actually played this game, but I've seen a lot of it. We're gonna play The Beginner's Guide. It's made by the same person who made the Stanley Parable. And this isn't going to be like other videos I do. It's going to be an all the way through. It doesn't take very long. I heard it's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's going to be an all the way through 100% playthrough of the game. Because there's no other way to present this game. And so let's just get right to it. It is. Okay. The same basic controls.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
This is cool.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like
wonder
about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
I'm curious.
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever.
I've done that.
And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com.
Is that
okay, that's about it for introduction.
Is that a real
Let's
Gmail?
take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Can't go that way.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was
I have no
complete
bullets.
the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shift evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
What is happening? Oh. Wait a minute.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Okay.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper Machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper Machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
I mean, I'm
Let me
dead.
Pause here for a second.
Yay!
What you just experienced,
Suicide.
stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead. The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Hold on, let me fix this real quick. There we go. That's a lot better.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards. So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Huh. When she stops and looks, it becomes clear. But the future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works,
Huh.
because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
What?
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Nonsense in every direction.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Whoa. I'm slowing down. Do I have to go backwards?
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. Full speed. Play as a pair of floating eyes emitting footstep noises. You are a gate. You start in a small room until you realize you can just walk through walls.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
A game with only motivational quotes, played one after another while the player cannot move.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
A game where you collect items, except the game automatically quits when you collect them all. You talk people down from pursuing their hopes and dreams. That was one of them. I don't like that. Okay.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Did I break it? Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, shit.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
What are these 3 dots for?
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
What? Whoa.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after
What?
the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
You are now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some
Oops.
larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. Makes sense. The Great and Lovely Descent. The blinding light of Jesus has taken over my monitor.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools
Let's
for
go up
game
here.
development. To make all of these
Nothing.
games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all
Source,
engines,
okay.
Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
I'm going to the bathroom. I'm gonna stay in here. It seems nice
The
and
tools
quiet
available
in
to the
here.
creator shape what kinds of creative work they're gonna end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I thought I was gonna fall off that. Oh, and I fell. I fell. Is it gonna just let me fall? It just let me fall. I don't have knees anymore. That's so trippy, though. Just to look, what the fuck? Okay. Ooh. That was a creepy sound. Nothing. I guess I gotta go through the candle. Okay. Ah! Why? Why? Can I hop over the fence, please? Oh, okay. Well, ah! It's not even creepy, it's just surprising.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Okay. So,
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else.
That's some petty shit I would
Played
do.
every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
That is some petty shit that I would do. Oh, I can't jump down from... There's like a swing here. It won't let me go down from the stairs on this weird... Can I not go in the center at all? Huh. What is with these 3 circles that are just everywhere? Like, cause we saw them at the beginning of the level. Like, what are they?
It's
Okay.
the puzzle again.
I got
The
this one.
exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise
Nothing.
I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Nothing. Let's go this way. The only way we can go. What? You there, did you come from above?
Here,
What was
Coda
up there?
begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there was these floating colored blocks. How did the game actually started with white, so 1. That was the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before I came here. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzles. I prefer not to tell you. After all, we only just met. I think we should tell him the truth. 1? Again, perfect. Now please tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else did let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. Why can't I tell them? That's the most accurate. You didn't solve it. So you have learned nothing. You cannot help us escape this prison. You are not the one I need. Surely there will be someone else. Okay. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle that you had to pass through? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? No, I've been right here this entire time. Let's go with honesty again. No, we've actually found the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Why would I care about the space between the doors? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange as I passed through it. I don't recall a space between the doors. It's hard. Let's go with 2. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. That noise. Okay. Next set.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
I'm not totally following right now, but okay. Makes sense. April. Okay, so 3 months later, this game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes are left by other players. Nice room, not. It seems pretty nice to me.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game
How do you
is
beat
not
this
connected
game?
to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was
Really?
shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento,
No,
where I grew up.
no point to this.
I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this
My
person.
God.
In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy.
Whoa,
to get
holy
his
shit.
attention. I was over enthusiastic.
I almost said that.
But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me.
Can you guys hear me?
And I cooled off eventually.
Hello. Reasonable.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you.
Everyone
Nothing
read
extra is
this.
gonna happen if you read all of them.
Hey.
Either way,
this
to me, they
place
convey a sense
makes
of
me
loneliness.
sad.
I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express
I want to tell
them
you a secret. Once
except
upon a
as
time I
scattered
did.
and unheard voices in a
Define
game that
fun.
wasn't meant to be played.
I'm king of the world.
But it's ironic, isn't it? That
Balls.
in playing this
It
game
just says
and
balls.
seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of
How is there
connect.
concrete
And
and
I have to be
grass? What
honest
the
with you,
fuck?
This idea is really seductive to me.
He's got a point.
That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your
It just keeps going
I think
and
this
going.
is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
It's like a bad movie opening. I'm not gonna look at all these. There are too many messages in this area. What the shit is this cavern? Boring. I can assure you guarantee that there's an acorn somewhere here, this place, and sailors are looking for it. I wonder if I could have, like, dropped down there, if it would have let me. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. I refuse to believe. Okay. Butt ass butt. I need to go to the friggin' bathroom. Recognize me, please. Okay. I mean, I guess I kind of just did. There's nothing here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt? Need other side. Door why you so... Door how open? Open sesame. Makes game. It includes door. It cannot open door. Thanks. It's like a Steam review. Someday I will meet the person who made this. I help people because I am the internal good feeling I get. New room. Do you hear the chimes? They keep you going, don't they? I would like very much to be desired. These are getting darker. Welcome, congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. We're gonna skip a couple of them. This is where I get off. I failed to write anything here. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. My kind of game. Take my hand, let's jump together. I don't even think I could make that. Cabbage shapes our nation. What is that painting? It looks like a bunch of dots. Okay, let's skip more, because it's irrelevant if I go through them all. Let's read this one. Don't listen to the other notes. Well, yeah. Okay. I'm not safe. Okay. What was that? What was that? Stop faking it. I keep hearing fucking voices. Oh my god. Paintings, what does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. Hey guys, how's it hanging? Help, I am trying to speak. We will all die someday. It doesn't mean anything. Devil Tower Star. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. I feel like it's a quote from something. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game! Oh my god, there's so many. More
At the end
room.
of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Oh, this is fucking with me really hard. Do you hear that? There's those dots again.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Does this puzzle have a solution? Oh my god, I've been here for literally an hour. What the fuck do I do? Help! Help! This doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. Shit, how do I solve it? Developer, answers please?
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between the spaces. Before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment.
Guys, it's not
A few
safe.
seconds
So bad
to
in here.
reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, 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 speak. Speak. Porn stars die
Okay,
too.
this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Okay. Gotta love that beat.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay. Okay. What furniture ought to go into the center of the room? How about a TV with surround sound, a refrigerator? Put a giant hole in the ground. Put a giant hole in the ground! That's not a giant hole. Okay, now what about along the wall of the room? Let's put a huge picture of a horse. I'd really like a washing machine. 10 stoves lined up along the wall. 10 stoves lined against the wall. Those are couches, not stoves. I mean, you could probably cook. I think we should light up this room a bit. A skylight, full ceiling window. Let's open up this baby up. I'm thinking 10 by 12 recessed electric 6-inch soft LED ceiling and lights with fluorescent trim. Oddly specific. We'll put a live Tesla coils. That's a lamp. And a table. You need a table. Who are you? Who are you? What exactly are you doing this from? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making any dimples. Tables were invented in 1930. You can't go with, solid facts. Can't go wrong. Hey, look, a table. I wasn't technically wrong. Okay, I was.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
What? What?
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Okay. Hello, please walk forward. The guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully and take care that you remember each step. First, click on the table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off and turn it back on. Now go to the left side of the sofa. Move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start and be taken back to your prison. Back to prison, yeah! Okay,
And of course,
so
now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
well,
Here's a
shit.
version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And
Wait.
then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself.
What?
Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. The music changed. Oh, okay. Okay. What is happening? What is happening? Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you after you escaped the prison. You're me. So you were trapped in the prison too. Yep, it was the furniture maze. Yep, it was in this escape tutorial. Yep, it was in the reverse prison.
What Coda wants is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
That's where I am right now.
That even in this scenario,
I am so glad that you know how to get out eventually.
you know,
What is it like
all
to
of these
escape?
games so far are Coda talking to himself.
I am already forgetting what being in the prison like. It's strange, but in a way, I kind of miss being in the prison. It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. What is the right answer here? Do you feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. No, I'm the same person now as I was back then. It actually does change. I don't feel like the same person at all. It's a hard one. That is a hard one. Well, people do change. I know he's scared of that. Oh, good. That's so nice to hear. That makes me feel very happy. Age just kind of does that, you know. I'm still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Remember to enjoy who you are right now. It won't last. That last one sounds kind of bad. Two. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No. I didn't get a call, so no. Then can you tell me how you got out? Maybe I can find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. Wait. How do you feel right now? What? That will free me. How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Just tell me how you feel. It will make sense. Okay. I feel afraid that nothing will ever change. Go on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone
Okay.
other than himself?
Okay. That almost got me. Because I've had a lot of conversations like that with people over time, like a from my end and then from their end as well, and trying to help them, and it just, ooh. Let's keep going.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay. I guess that's the other door up there. So to solve this puzzle, this door has to get closed? Well, my goodness, I'm glad as heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. Don't worry about me. The place is nice, and I'll be
You'll
glad to
notice
stay
that
the night.
quality of
All
the
lousy
art is a
homes
step
make
up
lousy
from
loners.
previous games,
Are we
including
cleansing this whole
new and
place?
improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months.
Well, now you just might be getting a little ahead of yourself there. No. Why don't we start cleaning and then you decide whether you do it all night? I'll finish up here, and meantime, can you please clear the table? Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run to the bedroom and make the bed? That's the bathroom. While you're in there, why don't you straighten up the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. Let's be nice. Let's be nice. Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed any other way, it seems, which I guess is all that matters. Oh, that and a tidy couch. Would you straighten up the pillows on the sofa out there? Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink all over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. Are you okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. Yeah, I'll try to get by. Do you absolutely have to? Well, I want to hear the cheesy joke. Like, come on. Like... Oh. Oh. No. It was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, those dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed to be cleaned. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Are the books scattered on the floor in the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off
After the
the
intense set of
table?
prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
House cleaning is so difficult. How do you do it? Are all these houses this easy to clean? Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you've absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. So why don't you be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to the future you? Present you wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom, leave it to be or not. Trust me on this one.
Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it.
Looks like the tub has gotten
was
rather
during a
dirty.
period of
Would you mind tidying it up a
like
bit?
Grossly happy, all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Don't know why it felt so weird about saying that. I get it, that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Yeah, you're right, it's pretty cheesy. But there's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Oh goodness, those pillows over the couch are a real mess. Would you go straighten them up a bit? Can't have those folks coming home to a messy couch. Question.
But, of course,
Do
it
you
can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Okay. Lamppost. Yay!
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
September 2009. Items you love at
This
members only
one gets a bit
prices.
goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think is about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? You intend to make you feel that person. I intend. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly. That is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being perfect is
perspective shift.
effortless.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
This is the key. How do we achieve it with no effort? On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Kids should not follow their dreams. Well, let me tell you right now, if it is effortless, then it is not the right answer. I still love you. It's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you are torturing yourself, trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. What? Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. Ha ha ha, just kidding. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? There is no truth. There is no path. What if I'm not a good teacher? Do what is the easiest. Do what is the simplest. Feel from what is true. Holy shit, do you guys... Something is coming out of the back of the room. Look out. Nothing. No one. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy you. Everyone run.
I fell pretty hard for this one.
Perfection.
I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Okay.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
We got this. Yeah. Got this. Okay. Oh, God. All right, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at the gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against a wall. Oh, I'm sitting on the wall. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It is your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Sorry, I have to leave. Where is the bathroom? Hello. Hello, that's it. That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I am super, super scared right now. I like you. You're all my hopes and dreams. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, I just, in the moment, but I wasn't confident. Maybe it's just that you need better at setting with a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce off when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now go talk to her again. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. I'll bet you've learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? You're messing it all up again. You freak her out and the conversation gets personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Okay. Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. What? Help, I'm blind. I can't see anything. What's going on? Please, someone talk to me. Please, someone help. Please tell me how to solve this. What the what? Help, I'm blind. I can't see anything. What's going on?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
What? What's going on? Please don't let this be forever. The only way to stop it is to speak something that's honest. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. It's draining me.
Like
I'm
I
out of
said, I was
ideas.
getting
I don't
concerned.
feel it anymore.
First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So
Keep going.
where's that
Keep
coming
talking.
from? But then even weirder, his
I
work
haven't
has
been
potentially
honest.
stopped being an outlet
I
for
can't
him.
figure out how to
Not
say
like
the
he's
thing.
having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect
I'm
anything
alone.
that you say in order to keep themselves
stuck in it.
disconnected
I
all
have
the
to work
time? It was
harder.
that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my
We're
help
going
in
to
some
be
way.
okay.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
December 2010. Hello? Where am I? What is this? Hello? Where did this island come from? How do I get out of here? Hello, is anyone there? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I've talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. Oh no. What is happening? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going, and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine. I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What? You have to take me to it. I need to see it. I don't know why it stopped. I can take you to it, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find a machine.
Now,
Deal.
put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he
Deal.
keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Perfect. Come along. I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his
What do
computer
you
all
think?
day, not really showing these games to anyone, not
Hey,
releasing them on
I
the
recognize
internet.
this. I've solved
And
this puzzle
so
before.
He didn't
This is
have
easy.
anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
I've solved this puzzle before. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to close the door. First, you have to open the first door. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. Alright, what's next? Now just press the switch here. Ha! That was so simple.
Can't talk yourself out of loneliness.
Can't believe I've never solved this
It doesn't
before.
work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Okay, here we are. What are you talking about? There's no machine here. These are just words on some walls. Trust me, you'll see. I have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that the game development is simple and joyous and you love it 100% of the time. Making games is effortless. Sure, making games is easy. Okay, making games is simple. None of those are true. That feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Why did the walls just crumble? Why did I feel so awful when I said that? But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. It is easy and it never stops being easy.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped.
Keep going.
It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Every time I make something, I feel better about myself. I just never stop creating, and you'll never feel bad. It's such a simple solution. Perfect.
This is
That
someone I
feels
really cared about.
fantastic.
And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
None of this is helping. Patience, you have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please continue. Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifice made for my work are worth it 100% of the time. It always pays off eventually. More.
I
Keep
don't know.
going.
This is what I felt at the time. I don't know
There's
how
no
else to
shame,
explain it.
no fear, no guilt.
I wanted it to stop.
I will
more
be
than
saved
anything.
by my work.
I had never felt so rotten.
I
just-
believe this.
I needed
unquestioningly,
more than I had ever needed anything.
I am the
for
vessel
this
of
to
certainty.
stop.
I'm free. I'm free.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Okay. Okay. That was a little much. Okay. It's okay. We got this. We got this. It's hard. Because I felt all those things before. You know, you feel those things when you do creative things, when you're a creative person. And I'm not saying people who aren't creative don't feel that, but like you feel it. And you feel that about yourself, that you aren't good enough, and you have to talk yourself back into it. You have to talk yourself back into doing something that you say that you love. And you feel that like one day it might kill you, and you have no idea if that day's ever going to come or what, but that was tense. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick, quiet, or brutal. Quiet. Very good. Just warning to some people called the press. They might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my. I don't even. You
And
stopped.
of course, it's the machine.
You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. I'm gonna answer these as me, because... those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No, nothing. Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I have seen the thing you fear. All right then. I will apologize to the people on your behalf. My followers, my friends. My friends. It falls to me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. Machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it we are not failures. When I get into funks, I always think in two. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Everything that the machine has created. This one is hard. Because I've been there for both. I have been there. I have wanted to destroy the machine that lies within me. I have wanted to go destroy, and I have. I have wanted to go destroy everything I've ever created. Okay. What the fuck? Oh my god. You're actually destroying it all.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, As I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
No, not the happy room.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
I'm like shaking. This seems like a personal attack.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
I know I should be talking, but I have like no words right now for any of this.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or
8675309. Too many
engagement.
numbers.
It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
One, 5, 1, 6. I feel like I'm like saying lottery numbers. Okay. That's one way to do stairs. Do I just yeet into the hole? I do.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't. I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to
But it's
see
not your
myself
work.
in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
But it wasn't your work.
Where did I screw up?
Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
I wonder
don't
at
think I ever told
times...
you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. You're so infected my personal space that it's impossible. I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games. If there was an...
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundaries that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them.
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Would you simply let them be what they are? When I am around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about me, or says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing that you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see it, what I am talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Wow.
love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
It's that beam from the first one. It's gonna kill me, isn't it? What the fuck? It's fucking beautiful.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles, and you're so tired, but I know that you're strong, so turn back, turn back.
So, that was the beginner's guide. It's gotta be one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. It was short, hour 44 minutes. If you like this video, it's just to hit a like, subscribe for more. And until next time.